Hello, my name's Susan Hillyard, and I'm opening SHELTA, which is Susan Hillyard's Language Teachers Academy, with this first drama course. We're going to have an overview of drama, and we're going to try and answer the question, how can we use drama in the classroom to teach and engage students? Really, there are two packages which are combined. One is multisensory education, and one is all the developmental processes of the growing learner, which are included in the acronym SPICE. The 5 senses include sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. And when I say touch, I mean not only using hands-on experience, but also touching the hearts of your learners, touching their interiors and making them feel some kind of emotion. SPICE stands for S for social learning, P for physical development, I for intellectual development, C for creative development, and E for emotional development. You'll see when we get onto the course how these actually work in practice. We want to move our students from I can't learn English to I can learn English. And we want to move ourselves from I can't teach these students any English to I definitely can teach English to these students. It doesn't matter what kind of learning challenges you have in your classroom. You may have students with learning difficulties. You may have many diverse students, but we regard that as being a powerful enrichment in the classroom. You may have students from different cultures, from different races, and what we want to do is help them to put on the mask of drama so they can stop being themselves for a moment and become somebody else. We call it real learning in imagined worlds. We are trying to bring equality, equity, and diversity and inclusion into the classroom. We include the person with the yellow umbrella along with all the other people with the black umbrellas. And we accept any colour, any shape, any size. Really, what we're talking about is having each student in her or his element. So we include singing with gesture and action. We introduce them to instruments. We introduce them to art and craft. We have them doing performance poetry. We have them doing stand-up comedy. And we have them acting out small sketches in front of each other, not necessarily for an audience. What we're working on is English in action. Everything must be done with action on the part of the students, not necessarily on the part of the teacher. We're working on Krashen's comprehensible input and Merrill Swain's comprehensible output. Krashen says that the teacher must use comprehensible input slightly higher than what the student can understand at this precise moment in time. And Merrill Swain adds to that and says that students can only learn to speak English and to communicate in English if we give them time and space for comprehensible output. In other words, we must give them time and space to do acting out, to do action, and to do communicative work in the English language, which they know themselves. We don't use scripts, we use the student's own language. There is a new study that's just come out which talks about enclothed cognition. It was an experiment that was done setting an academic exam to 2 groups of students. One group was dressed in a doctor's overall, and the other group was dressed in an artist's overall. The students who were dressed in the doctor's overall did much better on the academic exam than the students dressed in the artist's coat. We know, those of us who've been teaching drama for years, that if you give a student a witch's hat and a wand, they become the witch. Their language changes, their body language changes, everything changes, their intonation, their modulation, their tone, their pace, their rhythm, and they take on naturally the witch's language. This is what we want to do in English. We work with the speaking body in the empty space. That's all we need. We work on performative activity. And I'd like to leave you with a quotation, which is perhaps the best quotation I've found. It's from Wilkinson. She says, "Language learning through drama, as supported by the drama, brain and language research reviewed here, can no longer be ignored. Drama involves the whole body and the whole brain in learning in a fictional context. It engages all of the multiple intelligences and matches the learning styles of all children. Enjoyable physical movement embeds the emotional impact of multisensory experiences on the cells of the body to form deep neuronal patterns in the brain and thereby enable memory and recall more readily than methods having lesser sensory impact." Thank you very much. If you'd like to visit my blog spot, you can find it there. Or if you'd like to write to me, my Gmail is there. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you will enjoy the rest of the course. Bye-bye for now.